Yeah, good. Cold, but it's cool.
It's not that cold.
It's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. I live in California.
All right, fair
Yeah.
enough. I mean, so obviously not your first rodeo at Dirty Boxing, but
Yeah.
first title fight. Does that change the vibes in Fight Week at all?
No, not really. Like, I've fought for titles before, you know. The only difference is now I'm on the poster. It's sick.
Did you see the belt at all yet?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. It's really heavy.
Is it as big as Jairzinho Rosenstrike?
No, they told me a couple of weeks ago they were getting a new one made for the Bantamweights because, I mean, I feel like they should have given me the same one that Rosenstrike. That would have been hilarious, but this one feels a little more size appropriate.
And this is Paula's first time, obviously in DBX, but she's just been doing MMA.
Yeah.
Up to this. So how does that factor in here? Because this is, again, your return to DBX, but you've been doing a lot of boxing and Muay Thai since then.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, MMA strikers are unpredictable, right? That's the difference between fighting someone who's training a lot of like strict Muay Thai, strict boxing, versus someone who is more of an MMA striker. Because MMA, I think, instills this like level of inhibition and recklessness. So MMA strikers can be unpredictable and their timing is different and they can be unorthodox. So, you know, I think she presents a challenge that I haven't come up against in recent fights, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that challenge.
And no finishes yet in Dirty Boxing for you? I guess, does that matter here at all, or do you just need to get the win for the belt? Or are you looking into finding a finish in all sense?
My primary goal is to win. However that win happens is however that win happens. You know, like, I'm prepared to go 5 threes. I'm prepared to go 2 threes. I'm prepared for wherever it ends. I don't care how it finishes. My primary goal is just to come out with that belt.
And this is kind of a weird question, but you're the face of this card. Win the belt, you're probably going to be a face of the promotion if you're not already.
Yeah.
So we've all seen your like fighting style.
Yeah.
But what about you, your personality outside of fighting, makes you the perfect fit to be this Dirty Boxing star?
That is a weird question. That's a good question, though. I mean, you know, I said, and I've said this every media scrum that I've done, but I said it years ago that my perfect style would be boxing with elbows and add in some leg kicks, you know. I'm actually trying to get them. I said it to Mike Perry a couple weeks ago. I was like, hey, the one addition that would make Dirty Boxing like money would be foot sweeps or trips in the clinch. Would be so sick, you know. Foot sweep, trip him in the clinch, and then finish him with ground and pound would be tight. He was like, it's way cooler if you just knock him down. Like, yeah, okay, fair, but also think about it, you know. But I don't know, like, I talked to, when I signed my contract, when I signed my deal with Dirty Boxing, because leaving the UFC, I was reluctant to sign another longer-term deal with a promotion again, because I got stuck in those contracts for so long. So I had a lot of hesitation, but I am older. I have fought a lot. I am getting ready to retire and move on to my next career, you know. So when I sat down and really thought about it, I was like, Dirty Boxing is perfect for me. I feel like I'm perfect for Dirty Boxing. This is where I want to like make my exit, you know, finish on top, go out on my terms. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm a good representation for the company, and especially after Friday night, I believe everyone else is going to feel that even more too.
And I wasn't going to ask, but you just said possibly thinking about retirement back then. Do you have any timeline on that? Or
No. Like we've still got quite a few left, you know, but I am 39 this year. Like, I would like to, there's a lot of careers that I have considered going into post fighting that have like kind of an age cap, you know. So I'm at that age limit where I need to start preparing for those, but that doesn't mean that I'm planning on hanging it up anytime soon, you know. Just obviously I am getting ready and putting other steps into place so that when I do decide, when I do find that last fight, when I feel like it's time, when Coach Kieran and I have the conversation and be like, this is it, like this is the one, you know, everything else, I'm going to be able to just step into the next phase.
What was your thoughts when they offered you a debutante as your first opponent for the championship?
You know, we did have conversations about that when they said they were looking for someone, you know, because my original opponent was someone who had already fought in DBX, and then she ruined that, so she got taken off the table. And then when I would talk to Malky and be like, he's like, I'm finding you someone. I was like, oh, what about Des? And he's like, no, like, we want to build up, you know, the next title fight. But because I'd been already offered the title, they couldn't take it off the table for me just because someone else fucked up. That wouldn't have been, that I would have been really upset about that. You know, I probably I don't know. I don't know what the conversation would have been if the title had been taken off the table because of that. So there really weren't a lot of options in terms of people who had actively fought for DBX because a lot of them have lost. I think Des is the only other one who has wins in dirty boxing, and this is what her second or third fight in dirty boxing this weekend as well. And they just didn't. They want her to get a little more experience before she steps up to that level. They found me a really good opponent who has a lot of experience and who has a good winning record. So whatever, it would have been cool to fight someone who already had built a name within this arena. I feel like they found a really, really good option outside of that.
Sure. I'm not sure how much you can talk about it, but Kat Nelson did take to social media after this fight was announced, said that you were decking her.
Yeah.
She thought she should be the one across from you. Do you have any response to Kat?
Listen, Kat has had the opportunity to fight me twice. We have text messages of us saying yes. We also have text messages of them fucking it up twice. The first time they wanted more money than what was on offer, so it didn't happen. That had nothing to do with me. The promotion didn't have the money. She was trying to get paid more than I was getting paid. Who the fuck is Kat Nelson? The second time, she knew she was fighting me for the title. She took another fight. She got told, we will pay you what you're getting paid for that fight. Don't take it so that you're still on the table for this title fight. And she said no. She did it anyway, and then so she got released. That was her. That was her decision. That had nothing to do with me. So she can talk and talk and talk on Instagram as much as she wants and act like she's hard done by. Every decision that was made that stopped her from fighting me was made by her and her coach. And maybe she should find a better team because they're the ones that are kind of leading her into making these decisions that are causing her to fumble big opportunities because she's not going to get another big opportunity like this. She's too old to get in the UFC and her record sucks. This was going to be her biggest fight and now she doesn't get it. And it's never going to be on the table again.
Awesome. Thanks for clarification. What are you expecting from Paula in this fight?
You know, she's a big power puncher. Everything I've seen from her, she's very athletic. She's very dynamic. She's really good at maintaining her range defensively. Obviously, she's going to be training hard in boxing, right? Getting ready for a title fight. You have to. She would be an idiot not to. But I think there are some things that just are ingrained in each fighter, and that is, I think she's going to be looking for power shots, and that's fine. Like, she could come out a completely different athlete on Friday night, and we still are prepared for that. Like, I train to be adaptable. I train to be able to handle whatever version of my opponent turns up on the night. You know, obviously you got to be aware when someone has that sort of power in their hands, and I am aware of that. And I think she's going to be a really good test, and I do think we're going to be able to put on a good show, just my style versus her style.
I mean, not that long ago, you made your debut in dirty boxing under this rule set. How much of an advantage is it for you to have competed under the rules here in dirty boxing, and do you think that's going to be a difference maker come Friday night?
You know, maybe, but when I came into dirty boxing, I was coming out of fighting Muay Thai. When I went into Muay Thai, I was coming out of fighting MMA, and I honestly didn't find it that difficult to adapt to different styles, you know? So I think it depends on what sort of athlete she is. I don't know her personally. I don't know how she trains. I don't know what her mentality and training is, but I didn't find that it was that difficult to make the transition. If anything, it was easier because you only have two things to worry about, and that's hands and elbows, as opposed to worrying about kicks, knees, takedowns, all these other things. So she could turn up the best dirty boxing fighter ever on Friday night.
In your opinion, what's the best base for dirty boxing? Is it MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing? What?
I'm gonna be honest, I think it's Muay Thai. Because because dirty boxing, like, they want you to clinch, they want you to throw elbows, they want you to do all these in between bits that stray away from traditional boxing. And so I think a lot of people are thinking that, yeah, traditional boxing is the way to go, but realistically, when you add in these extra components, when you add in being able to drop someone and ground and pound, traditional boxing strays away from all of that. I think Muay Thai and the experience I have in that has allowed me to have more stability, better footwork, better clinch capabilities, more versatility with my elbows. And I honestly believe that it would have been a much harder transition if I didn't have the background that I already did with Muay Thai.
Absolutely. Should you become successful Friday night, there's been some talks of Paige Van Zandt coming to dirty boxing.
Bro, it's always talks. I don't, at this stage, like, we have been talking about it for so long. We fought 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I beat her. And since when she left the UFC, which was like 2 years after that, something like that, there has always been talks about her and I rematching. It was going to be Bellator. It was going to be Misfits. It was going to be Dirty Boxing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it takes a lot for her to want to come back and fight. She doesn't need to, and I think if she makes a decision to come back and compete, it will be against me, but I just don't see her making that decision.
Yeah. I mean, as a veteran of the sport, what's your motivation, desire to keep on fighting, just besides the title that's on the line then?
I love it. Like, I love it. That's it. This is what I've done my entire adult life. I don't know how to do anything else. It's led me to fight all over the world. It's led me to my amazing coach. It's led me to build the family that I have in California. It's given me everything that I could have ever asked for. Like, that's motivation enough. I don't need anything more than that. Like, fighting gives me the life that I want to have, and I don't see any reason to find something outside of that, Like, yeah, it's been 17 years now. It's a long time. You can't do something that long if you don't have love for it.
For sure. In dirty boxing, like, how active would you want to be in 2026?
3 fights this year would be cool. When I left the UFC, because in the UFC I was getting maybe one every 18 months, and it was really frustrating. And when I left, the expectation was, when we were going into Muay Thai, it was like, yeah, we're going to fight 5 times, we're going to fight 6 times this year, and then we just kept having trouble with opponents, and it never happened. So I think like a solid 3, that way my expectations aren't too high.
Yeah.
So if 1 fell off, 2's okay. I'm hoping for 3 this year. Get the first one out of the way, maybe middle of the year, have a good summer fight, go back to Miami would be tight. And then I know they were talking about California, so hopefully we get licensed in California, because it'd be really cool to have a title defense at home.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
One more, just
Yep.
going off the activity. I guess, like, what kind of champion do you want to be at Dirty Boxing? Are you looking for quantity, multiple weight belts, big name title fights?
Oh, I'm 39. I don't want to keep cutting weight. Like, I'm gonna stay at 35. This is a pretty easy weight cut for me. I have no desire to go down. And then the bitches at 145 are huge. I have no desire to go up. Have you seen my training partner, Amber Librock? That bitch is massive. Yeah, I have zero desire to fight 145ers. 135 is good. I feel like 3 fights this year is not stagnant, but it's not so active that we're not getting legitimate opponents. Because I also don't want to just be fighting scrubs because we don't have enough people in the division. I want to be able to give enough time for them to build the division so that we can make this real, right? We can make this legitimate. Because even fighting for a title in your 3rd fight, like, that's the only way we can do it, because we're a brand new promotion, But by the time we get to, this is Dirty Boxing 5, by the time we get to Dirty Boxing 8, Dirty Boxing 9, hopefully the bantamweights, there's more, and then these girls are getting 3-4 fights and getting the chance to, test themselves in the style and build up a good record within the style, and then we can make it real, and that's what I want. Like, I want Dirty Boxing to be legitimate and to be seen as like a real competitor to the currently bigger shows. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is to have real rankings, is to have real build-ups, and not just throw people in because we want to fight, So if I have to wait a little longer so that these girls can get some good experience and we can set up a legitimate title fight for the defense, I'll wait a little longer.